Shalom. All praises go to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. And salutation to you Akim out there that's speaking his word with truth and sincerity. So I was just watching this video and basically saying how back in slavery that, so-called Negroes was put into a concentration camp called the Devil's Punch Bowl in Mississippi, which I didn't know about, I just found out right now another untold part of our history that's not told to us in the history books in the school system, which the school system is a fool system because they don't teach you nothing but lies, So I'm going to play this whole video for y'all, then I'm going to get some scriptures after the video is done playing.
There's a lot of things within the history of America that's been hidden from all of us, especially us within the black community. And if you allow this school system to educate you and not really educate yourself, you're not going to know much of anything. Now, there was a place called the Devil's Punch Bowl in Natchez, Mississippi. And this was a concentration camp for black people. America never speak about the concentration camp that they have for black people. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
Untouched fruit falls to the ground near the banks of the Mississippi River.
They talk about there's the most beautiful wild peach groves down in the Punch Bowl.
And researcher Paula Westbrook says, like a peach, the area known as the Devil's Punch Bowl has a pit, a mass grave from the 1860s. Historians estimate that in 1 year, up to 20,000 freed slaves died in contraband camps below these bluffs.
When the slaves were released from the plantations during the occupation, they overran Natchez, and the population went from about 10,000 to 120,000 overnight.
So they decided to build an encampment for them at Devil's Punch Bowl, which they walled off and wouldn't let them out.
Don Estes is the former director of the Natchez City Cemetery.
I just put my own tombstone right there. You see Estes?
Learning history's been his life. He says Union troops ordered recaptured black men to perform hard labor.
Straight down, right here.
While women and children were all but left to die in the 3 Punch Bowl prisons.
Disease broke out among them, smallpox being the main one, and thousands died. They were begging to get out. Turn me loose and I'll go home back to the plantation, anywhere but there. But they wouldn't let them out.
The Union Army did not allow them to remove the bodies from the camp. They just gave them shovels and said, bury them where they drop.
And I'd really like to show you more of this terrain, but it's just too thick with greenery. These bluffs are also straight down, so not only is it dangerous to navigate, it's still very mysterious back there.
It's a bed of alligators and snakes. It would take Indiana Jones to get back in there at this point.
Then you come on up washing away bluffs, and at the Devil's Punch Bowl that has so many people that no one knows how they got killed or when, and they're still down there wasted.
And even to this day, they talk about wild peach trees that come up down there, but no one in Natchez will eat them because they know what the fertilizer was.
When these people come up to you and act like they're the beacons of morality, and you should imitate them and be more like them, and say you're savage and, you're inferior. Oh, understand something. You have never did the things that these people have done. Now, just imagine you are getting off the plantation, being treated like a slave. You're free. And because these Union soldiers, not Confederate soldiers, Union soldiers capture you, men, women, and children, put you in a concentration camp. Put the men in one area, the women and children in another area. The women and children were walled off with concrete walls, and they were just left to starve and die. Women and children, just evil, demonic people. Then you had the men was put to so much hard labor that they was begging to go back to the plantation. That's how bad it was. And did you hear, in 1 year, 20,000 black people died And these demons just say, oh, just bear them where they at. But yet, we can't get a dime for reparations, for slavery, for Jim Crow laws, for concentration camps, for bombing our churches, for destroying our towns like Rosewood, Black Wall Street, and Tulsa, Oklahoma, and many other towns that these people have destroyed under the sanction of the sheriff, under the sanction of the governor. We don't get anything. But our so-called first black president, we'll put up a little picture up, he decides last year, kind of around this time, to earmark $12 million to Holocaust survivors, which the Holocaust didn't happen here, but yet he can do that and no one says anything. But when they have anything related to you, nobody can do nothing. How dare you bring that mess up? They can give money to Japanese. Don't say nothing about that to them and their heirs, for what I read about that in the billions. Don't say anything. But you know. You see, you need to know your history to understand this country and also to understand where you're going, and also so it does not repeat itself again. We as black people, part of the African diaspora, have suffered immensely. And everything that these people have done to us, the day is going to come where every part of that evil has to be judged. And that's why they lose in their country as they speak right now, and they can't understand why. They wondering what's going on. They saying we want to take our country back. We need Trump to come do it for us because it's been sanctioned for them to lose power in this nation. It's going to happen. Because when you look at atrocities like this, when you look at something from the pit of hell that happened to our brothers and sisters, they can't just keep going along and acting like everything is okay. And then when you bring this mess up to them, instead of them acknowledging it and saying, this is some evil stuff and we need to fix this, no, they're going to justify it and say, I had nothing to do with it. They're going to justify it and say, you didn't go through that, so what are you complaining for? All the things that they will say to you out of their evil minds, but when you refer to them about their stuff and what they go through, how dare you say that crap? You're evil for saying that. It's kind of quite funny how they are. That's why I tell y'all, don't take the word of these people. They don't mean no good to you. If you wouldn't take the word of the devil himself, why would you take their word? These white supremacists. But this is the things that we need to talk about within our history. We need to share this with our children. We need to let them know what our ancestors went through to get you to where even you're at today, so you can appreciate where you are today. Because those people that suffered and died, if they did not do that, if they did not go through all this stuff, maybe you wouldn't be where you're at today. And looking at stories like this should encourage you to fight even harder to make sure your people get free. Stop listening to these people when they tell you anything about your past or your present. I told y'all before, you need to put these people in their place and tell them to stay in their place in regards to what we got to do within our community. It just saddens me just to hear this story and just to imagine the pain and the horror and the suffering and the sickness and little kids just dying like that. I mean, it just gets to you. But, if you're a human being, it will get to you. If you're a demon, well, you're going to make excuses for it. But I don't know, let me know what you think about it in the comments about the Devil's Punch Bowl and what our people went through. Share the video and let people know how our people were slaughtered in a black concentration camp. Like the video if you like the commentary and subscribe for more news stories.
Right, so basically what the man was saying was right, man. Every time another country get bombed and some Americans send mad millions, they somehow get billions of dollars and send them to the other countries, but they're not worrying about over here where they dwell at, which is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. We suffering. We never got reparations for all the blood, shed, and tears that we shed to build up this country, Now, he was saying we was Africans, which we're not Africans. We're Hebrew Israelites, Now, I'm going to get a few scriptures. I'm going to back up what he said when he said, how them devils always complain when they hear about their forefathers committing atrocities against our forefathers. Now, this is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 41, verse 6. It says, "In the inheritance of sinners, children shall perish, and their prosperity shall have a perpetual reproach." Right. So these Edomites got death coming to them. That's their only promise. Like he said in the video, they wondering why the elites wondering why that their country is going down. Because it was spread through bloodshed. It wasn't gained through righteousness. You know. It says the children, which are the Edomites, so-called white people, will complain of an ungodly father, right? Because they shall be reproached for his sake. Yeah. So when we go out on the highways and byways and preach against this devil, they always say that, oh, it wasn't me, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do that. I didn't have nothing to do with slavery. You should get over it. But they don't really know that they're reincarnations of their forefathers. You know. So by you saying stuff like that, justifying your wicked deeds towards people of our nation, that just proves that they're the devil, man. That the devil that the Bible speaks of. Verse 8, "Woe be unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High Yahweh." Right. Because these people, well, first, they're bastards. They don't have a father. So that's talking about us, because we're only the Israelites, which so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Americans are the only ones that's given the law. So in order for you to be given the law, you are the only ones that can sin. So for if ye increase, it shall be to your destruction, right? Increasing into wicked gains of this world, because it's only gonna be for your destruction. The Most High, Yahweh by Shemel Shai, is allowing you to get all these riches so they can come down to an end, so they can come to a cease, And if you be born, ye shall be born to a curse. And if you die, a curse shall be your portion, right? That's talking about the Edomites, Esau. So the Most High is allowing Esau to populate just for their own destruction, so to speak. Because they are the borders of the wickedness, which Malachi, the first chapter, says. It's verse 10. "All that are of the earth shall turn to earth again, so the ungodly shall go from a curse to destruction." Right. So they only born just to be just to see death. Um, because all this stuff they did to us in slavery was because it goes back to the Jacob Esau story, that they don't have a birthright and we do. Which is uh, the perpetual everlasting kingdom on earth. Now I'm gonna get Ezekiel, the 35th chapter 5. Now this chapter is basically talking about judgment on Esau, Edomites, and to prophesy against them, so-called white man. It says, "Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred," right? So-called white man has perpetual hatred just throughout the history of our history of his wicked ways. Hanging us, killing us in the street nowadays. A lot of white so-called white officers become police officers so they can just kill black so-called black people and Latino men. Because they know they're gonna get off scot-free because they have what you call white privilege. You know, and has shed the blood of children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that the iniquity had an end. Right. Because we're in captivity right now, but it's about to end because the prophecies are speeding up for the elect men's sake. But as the prophecies, as we getting closer to our salvation, Esau just keep oppressing us because he knows that he's about to go into slavery soon. Because we're gonna recompense them unto double. All right. You so-called white people, you got death coming to you and hard bondage slavery. Okay, because all the shit you did to us is gonna come right back to you. This is Jeremiah 16:18. And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double. Right. So when we get into the kingdom, we're gonna be beating these crackers' asses, man. You know, for all the shit they done to us, man. You know. Then we're gonna, after they build up our kingdom for 1,000 years, then they're gonna get slaughtered. They're gonna be laid desolate. You know, it's not gonna be no more Esau, so-called white man. You know, because they had defiled my land. Well, now what's the land? The land is in Jerusalem, Israel. You know, you got them rat Jews that's in the land calling them Jews when they're Amalekites. You know, so-called Edomites. I mean, so-called Edomites. You know, they have filled mine inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. Right. You know, from all these um, false religions, vain philosophies. You know, homosexuality, woman being over the man. You know, spreading these chemtrails. You know, Esau so wicked that he sprayed his chemtrails in the same air he breathes in. That's how wicked he is, man. He's damaging himself. That's how wicked he is, man. You know? But, you know, I just wanted to make that point, you know, because there's a lot of stuff, you know, that we don't know about that so-called white man did to us, you know, because it's untold, you know, it's a secret, but like that saying, the truth always comes out sooner or later. You know, you can't hide the truth forever. You know, it's only evident that the times be coming and the truth is going to come out even more about all this wickedness. You know, so-called white man Esau, his skirt is lifting up, you know, which is parable that everybody's seeing his wickedness. The other nations, you know. But the problem is that our own people don't see it. You know, that's the problem. You know. But hey, that's why the Lord said 2/3 of our people have to die. You know, because, you know, they ain't gonna never wake up. They ain't gonna never wake up to the truth. They ain't gonna never take the truth seriously. You know, they always think everything is about fun and games, but the scriptures say it's a time and season for everything. You know. And it also says, how long will ye simple ones love simplicity? You know, because living in this world is filled with simplicity. You know, going to play basketball every day. You know, going to the club. You know, eat, joining. You know, envying thy oppressor. You know, trying to be like your oppressor. You know, so how long y'all gonna keep loving that? You know, how long y'all gonna keep loving the recycled lifestyle? You know, do the same shit every day, going to work every day for pennies. How long y'all gonna love doing that, man? You know. But this is just a quick video I want to post. You know, just to show how these devils, you know, they still got that hatred for us, man. You know, you see the KKK is still around, still exists. You know, somehow that was able to still exist, but you know, the like you were saying in the video, the investments we had, like Black Wall Street, you know, came down to an end, you know, but that's a part of curses. Scripture says, "Cursed shall thou be in city," you know. But you know, it's all about understanding, you know, like the scripture says. Scripture says, the more you increase. Let me go to it real quick. Ecclesiastes 1 18. It says, for much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow, right? So the more you increase in knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the scriptures, and seeing how this world really is, the more you're going to increase, because it's not supposed to be like this. It's supposed, it's first who you really are, and your oppressor's not really telling you who you are, telling you black, you African, you Latino, you Mexican, you Native American, which are bywords, and not to, never to trust thy enemy, So the more you increase in this knowledge, the more, hatred you have for these devils, man. You work with these devils, but you don't like them, But hey, we just gotta do it until Yahushua come back and deliver us, Lord willing. I'm part, along with the other brothers, that's in the same truth, part of the elect, So with that, I'm saying Shalom.